Hello students, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are going to discuss about the chapter coal and petroleum. In this session, let us see the introduction about this chapter. We use various materials for our basic needs. Some of them are found in nature and some have been made by human efforts. Isn't it? If you observe once in our surroundings, we are using so many kinds of materials for our purposes. Out of those all materials, some are found directly from the nature and some have been made by human efforts. They are prepared by human beings. So different kinds of materials we are using for our needs. Nature facilitates us with the facilities that are necessary to lead a comfortable life. Yes, nature is providing many facilities for us, isn't it? Yes, it is giving many facilities for us to lead a comfortable life. We are facilitated with the air we breathe, isn't it? Who brought this air for us? Nature has given. Nature provided this air for us to breathe comfortably. The water we drink, yes, the water which we are drinking is also given by nature to us. So we are comfortably drinking that water and we are able to survive. And the food, from where we are getting this food? From the nature, from the land, from the agriculture. We are getting these all food items, isn't it? That is formed from the land, which is a part of nature. Sunlight, minerals, etc. These all are given by nature for us for our comfortable life. Okay, these all are given by the nature. These are termed as resources. Yes, the materials and the things which we are using for our life continuity, which are given by nature, are called as resources. They can be classified as natural as well as man made. So, of course, so many resources or so many materials are given by the nature for our life, but some of them we are preparing artificially. So, based upon this, these resources are classified into two types. They are natural resources and man made resources. First, let us say about natural resources. The resources which are provided by the nature are called as natural resources like sunlight, air, water, energy, etc. These all are provided by the nature. We are not creating these, isn't it? We are using these which are provided by the nature. Such kind of resources are called natural resources. And they are derived from the land, soil, animals, water, and some mines. So they are available in the nature. Just we are deriving from those resources. These all. Suppose if we take some minerals, those we derive from land and in soil, and we get some milk and dissolved resources from the animals, and we get crop from the soil, and water is also present on the land itself, and we get air from the atmosphere, we get light from the sun. So these are the natural resources which we are utilizing. See here, man-made resources. These resources, on the other hand, are created by the activities of human beings. The resources facilitated by the nature come into use only when they undergo several processing developed by human advancements on technology. Yes, we are using nowadays some resources which are created by the activities of human beings. They won't be actually existing in the nature, but from the materials existing in the nature, human beings they created, they derived these man-made resources. So those resources which are created by the activities of human beings, of course, they might be derived from the natural resources. Then they are called man-made resources. So human beings they are creating these by their activities from the natural resources, and with their advancement in the technologies they are creating these resources. They are called man-made resources or artificial resources. First, let us see here about natural resources. There are two types of natural resources here. What did we say natural resources means? The resources which are available directly in the nature, like sunlight, water, land, soil, air. These all will come under natural resources. So in these again, there are two types. They are exhaustible resources and inexhaustible natural resources. Yes, so based upon the existence of these resources, they are classified into two types. They are inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources. So here the classification is given pictorially. Natural resources are of two types. Inexhaustible natural resources. Inexhaustible means the resources which will be available for longer time. They won't be exhausted even after using continuously also. Such kind of resources are called inexhaustible natural resources. And some natural resources are there. They will be exhausted after continuous using for certain time. Means they will be finished off after using continuously for a long time. Such kind of resources are called exhaustible resources. So here natural resources are classified into two types: inexhaustible and exhaustible natural resources. Again here in these exhaustible, what did we say exhaustible resources means? The resources which will be finished after certain usage, those are called exhaustible resources. So these are again of two kinds. Some exhaustible natural resources can be renewable, means they can be created again. Such kind of resources are called inexhaustible renewable resources. But some are there, once if it is finished, that cannot be renewed. Such kind of resources are called exhaustible non-renewable natural resources. Okay, in this way natural resources are classified into two types: exhaustible natural resources and inexhaustible natural resources. These exhaustible natural resources again classified into two types. They are renewable, means which can be created again by human activities. They are called exhaustible renewable natural resources, and some are there which cannot be created again once if it is finished. Such kind of resources are called exhaustible, natural, non-renewable resources. First, let us see here about inexhaustible natural resources. Resources which do not exhaust and which are available in plenty in the nature are known as inexhaustible natural resources. Yes, the resources which are available in the nature and can be used continuously for longer time, which won't be finished off, even though we use them continuously. They are called inexhaustible natural resources. They will be available in the nature in the plenty. They can be used for longer and longer times. They won't be finished off. Such natural resources are called inexhaustible natural resources. For example, if you see air in the atmosphere, it can be used. It was being used for a long time. From the starting of the earth, it is being used. From the starting of the living beings on the earth, the air is being used by those all. But still it is available. It will be available for the future generations also. Isn't it? Yes, such kind of resources are called inexhaustible natural resources. In the same way, sunlight also. Sunlight also is being available forever. And even tidal waves, these all will be available for longer times. They won't be exhausted. They won't be finished off. They will be available continuously. Such resources are called inexhaustible natural resources. See here, wind energy. Will be it finished? No, it won't be. It will be there continuously, even though used regularly. And even sunlight, which is used in the form of solar energy. So these all are natural inexhaustible resources. If you see exhaustible natural resources, the resources which get exhausted and are not available in the nature in plenty are known as exhaustible natural resources. Yes, Some natural resources, after using for certain time, they'll be finished off. They won't exist furthermore anymore. That means they won't exist plenty. They are limited. Once if they are utilized, they will be finished off in the nature. Such kind of resources are called exhaustible natural resources. They take longer time to get replenished again. Yes, if once they are finished, to get them back, to be created again by the nature, they take a very longer time. Such kind of resources are called exhaustible natural resources. For example, coal, petroleum, forests, minerals, these all are exhaustible natural resources. If you see coal, where it is available from the mines, under the layers of the soil or earth, they dig out this coal. So once if it is continuously digged out from the mines, what happens after few years, after the certain usage, that will be finished off in the layers of earth. So this is an exhaustible natural resource. In the same way, petroleum also. It is also available from the earth crust. So we are using that petroleum continuously from the long time. So after a certain time, it is going to be finished off. Even the forests also, what we are doing, we are cutting all the trees and we are constructing buildings there. So if it is continued, the forests also will be vanished. Even minerals also in the same way. If we use this all continuously, after a certain time, they are going to be finished off. Such resources we are calling as exhaustible natural resources. See here some are shown. Forests. What happens if you use them continuously by cutting the trees? After a certain time, there won't be any tree in the forest. It will vanish. And again, for the replacement, again, it will take years and years of time. Even the wildlife also. If you go on killing those, there will be no animal in the wild. Even the minerals too. We are digging out these minerals from the earth crust and we are utilizing for different purposes this all. If we continue the same, after few years, these minerals also going to be finished off. This all will come under exhaustible natural resources. Okay. Biodiesel, an alternative fuel source. Yeah, nowadays we are hearing this biodiesel name, which is an alternative for these all fuels like petroleum and coal. So biofuels are one of the major non-conventional energy resources. They are non-toxic and renewable. So that is a major advantage of these biofuels like biodiesel. What is major advantage? They are non-conventional energies resources and they are non-toxic majorly. They won't cause any harm and they can be renewable. So they can be created again. So these are the best alternatives for the natural fuels like petroleum and coal. Nowadays they are doing many researches for bringing it into utilization, these biodiesel and biofuels. So biodiesel is one of the biofuel which is an alternative or additive fuel source to the standard diesel fuel which is used now. It is made from the biological ingredients instead of petroleum or crude oil. The main purpose of here. This biodiesel is not prepared from either petroleum or coal or any crude oil. It is just prepared from biological ingredients from plants and these all. So it can be regenerated again and again as it is not prepared from the exhaustible resources like petroleum and crude oils. It is just prepared from the biological ingredients like the plants and their derivatives. So it can be prepared continuously. So it will be the best alternative for these fuels. Biodiesel is usually made from the plant oils or animal fat through a series of chemical reactions. Yes, these biodiesel or biofuels are prepared from the plant derivatives like plant oils or animal fat. So these plant oils and animal fats are undergone series of chemical reactions and finally they prepare these biofuels like biodiesel. So it is a safe and can be used in diesel engines. So this biodiesel can be used as alternative for the vehicles in which diesel is used as fuel. So this biodiesel can be used in that. In that way, the petroleum usage can be reduced because this petroleum is an exhaustible resource. If you use continuously diesel, after a few years, the petroleum is going to be finished off. But if you use instead of that biodiesel, it can be prepared continuously because it is derived from the plants and animals. Okay, so it is the best alternative for these fuels. Now let us say about fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are the exhaustible resources that are formed from the decomposition of dead organic matter. Yes, these are fossil fuels are exhaustible resources that are formed from the decomposition of dead organism like plants and animals. So when these are buried under the layers of the earth, these fossil fuels are created under the layers by the nature. Example for these fossil fuels are coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These all are created. These all are being formed by the nature under the layers of the earth because of the dead organic matters which are buried under the layers of the earth. First, let us see here about coal and petroleum. Coal and petroleum are exhaustible natural resources as their availability is limited in the nature. Yes, we are using continuously as coal and petroleum for our purposes. But these natural resources are limited in their nature. So at certain time they are going to be finished. If you use them continuously in the same manner, after few years they are going to be exhausted off. So these are called exhaustible natural resources. So coal and petroleum are used in mainly as fuel. Yes, these two are mainly used as fuel. Coal is used as a fuel. Petroleum products are used to run the vehicles and for many other purposes, isn't it? Yes, we see this coal mainly used as fuel, and even this coal is used for the production of electricity in thermal power plants. What they do in thermal power plants, they burn this fuel. From that heat energy produced, they prepare electrical energy. So there we call those thermal power stations. There they use this coal. And even this petroleum, one of the natural exhaustible natural resource, is used to run mostly for running vehicles. So the products of this petroleum like petrol, diesel, kerosene, mostly these are used as fuel for vehicles to run them. Coal and petroleum are known as fossil fuels because they are formed from the remains of living organisms. Yes, these are called fossil fuels because these are prepared by the nature in the lay under the layers of the earth from the remains of dead organic matter like plants and animals when they are buried under the layers of the earth. From those, these coal and petroleum are prepared, being formed in the nature. That is why these are called fossil fuels. Here let us see about coal. Coal is a fossil fuel formed in ecosystems where plant remains were pressured by the matter, by the water and mud from the oxidation and biodegradation, and by which its chemical and physical properties have been changed as a result of geological action over time, thus sequestering atmospheric carbon. So, what is happening? Coal is a fossil fuel formed in ecosystems. So how it is formed? When plants and dead organisms, when they are buried under the layers of the earth, so some biological reactions occur so that this coal is being formed. So coal is a readily combustible block or brownish block rock. It is will be rock. Coal is a rock-like solid which is in black color, and it is readily combustible. When it starts burning, it produces large amount of heat energy, so that it can be utilized as fuel for many purposes. Earlier, it was used for running trains and even for production of electricity, and as a fuel at homes also it was used for cooking purpose. But of course nowadays it is replaced with petroleum products, but still it is being used as fuel in many purposes. So for coal is a rock-like block colored rock-like solid, which is one of the best fuels as it is a readily combustible substance. It is composed primarily of carbon and hydrogen along with some small quantities of other elements, notably sulfur. So coal is a primary source of carbon actually. It is primarily consists of carbon and along with hydrogen. These are the major elements present in the coal. Majorly it is made up of carbon, quantity of hydrogen also exists. Along with this, small quantities of some other elements also may exist as impurities, majorly sulfur. Coal is extracted from the ground by the coal mining, either underground mining or open pit mining. So, coal is extracted from the mining. So, this mining is might be underground mining might be there, and even open pit mining also, surface mining. So, from these two, coal is digged out from the mines. So, coal is mined. It is a non-renewable resource. Non-renewable resource means once if it is finished in the mines, it cannot be renewed. We cannot create it again. It cannot be prepared by the manual actions. So it will be finished off if you use continuously for a long time. So that's why you told this coal also as exhaustible non-renewable resource because it will be finished off if you use continuously. So coal is extracted from the mines. Some mines will be underground mining and some will be open pit minings also. See here, this is underground mining. They are collecting coal from the mine. So how this coal is formed? Let us see here formation of coal. About 300 million years ago, dense forest in low-lying lands of Earth got buried because of many natural processes. So, in the due course, they sank deeper and deeper inside the earth because of high pressure and temperature. They slowly converted into coal. So, what is the uh, reason behind the formation of coal? In long back, hundreds and hundreds of years back, the plants and animals which are buried under the layers of the earth. So, they undergone high pressure and high temperature inside the layers of the earth. So, they created this coal. So dense forest and animals which are laying lands of the earth got buried under the layers of the earth because of these some natural processes like earthquakes and these all. So they are buried under the layers of the earth. So they sank deeper into the soil. There inside the earth because of high pressure and temperatures they slowly convert into coal. In that way coal is formed from the natural animals and plant derivatives. That is why we call this as fossil fuel. Such a slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. So we told here dead plants and animals which are buried under the layers of the earth slowly they convert to form coal because of high pressure and temperature inside the layers of the earth. But it won't be done night to night. It takes years and years of time. This is a very slow process. This is slow process of conversion of this the dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Okay, the formation of coal, the process of formation of coal is called carbonization. Coal is considered as fossil fuel as it is formed because of carbonation of dead remains of living organisms. Yes, it is called that is why as fossil fuel. Why? Because this coal is formed from dead vegetation, dead remains of living organisms like plants and animals. That is why it is called fossil fuel. So, based upon the process, as we told, this carbonization process is a very slow process. So in this different stages of coal will be observed. Based upon the time and the stage of the formation, coal is converted classified into four types. They are anthracite, bituminous, subbituminous, lignite, peat. Actually, they are the different stages in the formation of coal. Next, the destructive distillation of coal. The process of heating coal in the absence of air is called destructive distillation of coal. So the heating of substance, heating of a substance in the absence of air at very high temperature is called destructive distillation. So if a coal is undergone this process, that means if coal is heated in the absence of air at very high temperature, that is called destructive distillation of coal. Coal contains a number of elements such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. Yes, as we told earlier, carbon is a substance which is majorly containing carbon along with hydrogen. Along with these elements, some other elements also exist, mainly oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Okay, when this is the process of destructive distillation of coal. See here, coal is taken in this boiling tube, and it is closed with the cork which is containing a delivery tube. Now, this coal taken in this test tube or boiling tube is heated strongly by using a Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. Then it undergone destructive distillation and has given some products here. Let us see what are the products formed. When coal is heated in the absence of air strongly, a number of products are obtained. The products obtained are the main products obtained by the destructive distillation of coal are coke, coal tar, coal gas, and ammonium liquor. These are the major products. Main products formed are four here. When coal is undergone destructive distillation, these are the products formed. One of them is coke, coal tar, coal gas, and ammonium liquor. So the products formed are in three states. So when solid coal is undergone destructive distillation, a solid coke is formed as a product, and two liquid products are obtained. One is coal tar and ammonia liquor. Two liquid products are obtained. One more gaseous product that is called coal gas. So in this way, four products are obtained when coal is undergone destructive distillation. Okay, let us see about these products clearly in our further sessions. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates and recorded videos.